Hey guys! So today I'm gonna be filming, oh my god, it's falling. I have like a snowflake thing on my window. It's like, oh, there it goes. But yeah, so today I'm gonna be sharing with you part 1 of my 2017 TBR. I have quite a few things to show you. And I'm doing this in sections because I have like certain categories that I want to reread. So I want to reread, or that I just want to read in general. So I have like a whole section for rereads. I have a whole section for series that I want to read, standalones, and classics. So let's just jump right into it. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I want to reread in 2017. So let's go. So I'm going to start out with the series that I want to reread, and I only have 3 series that I want to reread. And they're all trilogies, actually. So the first one is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I read The Hunger Games when it came out when I was in like middle school, but I never reread it. And I recently rewatched the movies and I really loved them, so I was like, wow, I really need to reread those books. So I'm definitely gonna do that. I don't know when it's gonna happen in 2017, but it's gonna happen. The next series that I want to reread is one that like the first 2 books are out and then the 3rd book's coming out in 2017, and that is the Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book, called A Darker Shade of Magic. The second book is A Gathering of Shadows, and the 3rd book that's coming out in February is A Conjuring of Light. So I want to reread this one and the second one before A Conjuring of Light comes out. And this series is so good. It's about this guy who, there's like alternate Londons. There's 4 different kinds and he can travel between them, and there's magic, and it's just so good. It's like one of my favorite series and obviously my favorite author. The next book I want to reread is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I don't have the dust jacket, but I did decorate it, as you guys already know. I don't know if I'm going to reread A Court of Thorns and Roses because I really don't know how I feel about that book, so I don't even know if I want to reread it, but I definitely want to reread this one before A Court of Wings and Ruin comes out in May. So yeah, I did start rereading this like pretty quickly after I read it the first time, and I got like halfway through, but I never finished that. So I'll probably finish the end of this and then reread the whole thing again before the 3rd book comes out. I don't know if this is a trilogy anymore. Somebody please let me know, because it was a trilogy and now it's not, but then it was like it might be, I don't know. Just somebody let me know what's going on with this series, because I don't know. And now we're going to move on to the books that are like standalones, or like it's the first book in a series and the second book's not out yet. And that's the case for this first book, and that's this Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. This was her most recent release. It's a young adult novel, and it's all about monsters and humans and like what is the definition of either of those. And it's super interesting, and I really loved this book, but I read it so quickly, so I want to reread it before our Dark Duet comes out in July. And I really cracked this spine, like it's so crooked. But yeah, I definitely want to reread this book because it was very good, and if you haven't read it already, I highly recommend it. The next book that I want to reread is a book that I read on audio, or I listened to on audiobook from the library, and then I went out and purchased the book myself. So I want to read it for myself, and that is Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sons. And this book is like one of my favorite contemporary books that I've ever read. And I think the reason I liked it so much, like I know I liked it because like the writing was beautiful and stuff, but also the narrator is Lin-Manuel Miranda, so that like just heightened my love for this book. And I want to reread this in the summer months because it takes place during the summer, and I just think that would be like the perfect time to do it. So I'm definitely going to do that. And I do want to like highlight like quotes and stuff. I started to do that. Like I highlighted some stuff when I just kind of like went through and found quotes, but when I read it, I definitely want to like annotate my book. Next book I want to read is a new adult book, and that is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I read this book in January of 2015, or no, 2016. I read it this year in January though, so it was a really long time ago. And I read it on my Kindle, and at the time when I read this, I didn't know about the whole like album that goes with it, so I was just reading the song lyrics and not like listening along, so I want to reread this, and it's one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books to date, so I want to reread it and listen to the songs with it. My bangs are really itchy right now. Okay, so yeah, I want to reread it and listen to the songs with it. I also want to annotate this one too because I remember there being some really beautiful quotes, so I'm excited for that. The next book I also read this year, but it's really short, and I feel like I didn't process the ending like I should have, and that's Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. Everybody always talks about how the last chapter of this book has like such an impact on them and that it's super great and whatever, but I read the last chapter of this book when I was in school. Like it was right before homeroom started, so I don't really, like, I remember I had to like step out of class because I was like trying to process it, but like I don't really remember what happened, so I want to reread this and hopefully it'll have like a bigger impact on me. I mean, I still gave this book like 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite Peter Pan retellings ever, and if you don't know what this book is about, it's, like I said, a Peter Pan retelling that is like, it takes place in Tiger Lily's perspective, or like her life, but it's told from the perspective of Tinkerbell, which is really cool. And if you like Peter Pan, then I highly recommend reading this book, and it's really short, so like, do it. The last book that I want to reread is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I read this book for school in my junior year, so that was what, 2014, 2013. I really loved this book when I read it, and I just feel like I need to reread it because now I'm 19 and I just feel like I would appreciate it more. And I know this is like, I'm gonna reread this book for like the rest of my life, so I definitely want to get up on that. So these are all of the books that I want to reread in 2017. Let me know what kind of books you guys are gonna reread this year or next year. I'm confused. Reread next year, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!